morning and welcome to another Monday morning art talk. Happy New Year to everyone. So what I wanted to talk about this week, and it pertains to the new year and what we think about the new year, setting goals. Okay, what does that really mean? I personally like to set goals all throughout the year. I think it can be very hard just to all of a sudden just wait for the new year to start and say, okay, this is going to be the year I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to start. I don't think it really works that way. I think it's a good point to begin, but just know really you need to continue your goal setting all throughout the year. So January 1st, you say this year I'm going to do this and that for 2016. Start that list. But please, whatever you do, make sure that you're adding on to that. And the important thing of doing that is to keep up your momentum, because what happens after a while, you guys know, when you set certain goals, you may accomplish those goals, and then if you don't have any more goals set, then you start to become, could even be a little bit depressed, could start to question your ability, you could start to question a lot of different things because you're not remaining active. And I think the most important thing that you need to think of as you are setting these goals, more than anything, are you truly willing to commit and see it all the way through? And I think that's a huge question just to ask yourself when you're about to start anything. And that's one of the greatest lessons that I think that I've learned in my life through goal setting. When I'm starting these different projects, I need to ask myself, am I willing to see it all the way through? How far can I take this? And if I'm not, then I gotta sort of like question that. And sometimes what's happened, and I'll be very honest, I've started goals, I've set goals, I've established things, and in my mind, I put a cap on it. I did put a limit on it, and therefore, once that limit came to fruition, once that point reached itself, it's almost I stopped there. Why? Because I already told myself that when I was beginning. I already set that limit. And I think it's not a good thing to do. And that's why I want to express it to you. Because the reality is that we live in a world where you can create anything that you want to create, whatever it may be. You just need to be willing to see it all the way through. Maybe you want to build some sort of new ice making machine of some sort, and you got this idea for it. You can make that happen if that's what you really want to do. And you'll start to discover through this process that, I don't really want to make an ice machine. I don't really have the passion for it. I don't have the desire for it. Maybe I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe I'm doing it because I think if I make this new ice machine maker, then I'm going to make millions of dollars and that's going to be the answer to everything. But I don't truly have a passion for it. I'm not excited about it other than, maybe I could get it done. And I think, but if you did want to do it, you can do it through internet searching and just find out who the manufacturers are, where I could get it made, who's going to be my target audience, and all these different things that you start to accumulate through that process of setting that goal. So I think just ask yourself, is this something that you truly want to do? And maybe you're going to do it for a while and maybe you will hit that block and you'll start to get discouraged. That's going to be your test. That's going to test you whether you should continue going with it or not going with it. And I think that's very important. But it comes down to always, as I say to you guys, you got to try. You just got to give it that whirl. So write down those specific goals that you think you want to accomplish, even if they're so far-fetched. I don't care what they are. Just write them down, because there's nothing worse than having things spinning in your head and losing control, to where when you write it down, you'll have that control. And then, of course, don't worry about the success or failure of it. There's something that I wanted to mention here, too, it was very interesting. I was flipping through the channels the other day. I don't know what I landed on, but it's all meant to be as far as I'm concerned. And I saw this, it was even just a quote or something that popped on. I don't really even recall the exact scenario. But it was saying, like, one of the greatest fears that humans have are the fear of just pretty much not being acknowledged, not being, not necessarily rejected, but humans' biggest fear is the fear of perception of others, is what I'm trying to say. How people perceive them is what people feared the most. And I thought, man, that is true. That is really true, because I mean, I've gone through that without a doubt, especially when I'm starting out and I'm growing and I'm trying to, I want the client to approve me. I want my peers to approve for what I do. And it all comes down to that. So everything that we're trying to do and trying to accomplish, I think in the back of our mind, we're constantly thinking about what other people are going to think about the situation. What if I don't succeed at this? What are people going to say? What are they going to do? How are people going to perceive me? And you know what the bottom line comes down to is your own awareness to the fact that it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You know your own truth, and you're the only one that knows the truth of whatever situation that you've been involved in. You know your real truth. So it doesn't matter what the other people think. Think of all those things that you may think about other people that have tried something or done this, done that, and something bad happens to them or something good happens to them, and you in your mind create, oh, that's too bad that happened to Johnny over there. And meanwhile, Johnny's going, that was a great thing that happened. It was, I'm glad. So he knows his own truth about what happened. So I think it's just very important, as long as you know your own truth, don't worry about what other people are going to think. And I think even though we do, and I'm not going to lie, we're not robots, we're human, that is obviously, it's a big fear that everyone has that limits them. So it's how do you stop that? It's through becoming aware. When all of a sudden you start to think about when you're going to start a project or you're going to take something on that's bigger than yourself at that moment, and you start to go, what are my peers going to think, or what's going to... No, that's the awareness. That's where now you're thinking about it and you go, it doesn't matter. They're not living my life. They're not living in my shoes. They don't know everything that's going on. And that's the thing, is you don't know what's going on behind closed doors with anyone. It's just all a perception. It's all perceived. It's just nothing is real because we don't know. We look at these, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, Natalie Cole, or Nat King Cole's daughter, who just died. 65 years old, and all these celebrities and these people, and we don't know necessarily all the true causes of their deaths, but we look at these young people, and I know that she was in rehab and she was going through a lot of stuff. You look at them and go, man, they got everything. They're on top of the world. You looked at Whitney Houston, and you looked at Michael Jackson, or all these different people. I don't care who it is. You look at these people, and we peek through this little tiny hole, and we see this. Man, they just got it all. They got the fame, they got the fortune, just the notoriety. They can do, have, be whatever they want. But at the end of the day, do they? Do they have what we think they have? Most of the time, they don't. A lot of these people are very miserable. Their lives aren't what we think they are. It's just this perception that we have. So for you, don't ever let what other people are going to think about your goals, about what you're trying to do, let that tarnish or just stop you in your tracks from what it is that you even want to try to do. You just got to do it and just be yourself, have fun, do your best, and be open to anything that might come and go. And I think, again, having that clear, open mind for you is what's going to just move one thing to the next. And that's how it works. You have to start something in order to move to the next thing. You have to begin that process. All right. So taking your art in whatever facet, just start, again, educating yourself. Start just learning about contracts. Start learning about copyright. Start learning just wherever you can. Pull in information, take in information. Make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure that you set out your goal. Don't put a limit on it, okay? Don't do that. I've done it maybe way too many times in my past to where I'm trying to share this with you now. Don't set that limit, and just know that, again, as an artist, this is a great world that we live in. I was telling my son the other day when I went to go see Star Wars, I'm sitting there in the movie theater and we're watching all the trailers beforehand, and you have the live action movies that are popping on, but all of a sudden the animated ones popped on, and you just hear the audience laughing, and they're gay, that's fun, and you see the response to animation and cartoons and the kids, and they love it. And it's just a reminder that as long as there's kids on this planet, there will always be the entertainment arts industry. There is always going to be video games now. There is always going to be animation. There's always going to be cartoons. There's always going to be toys. There's always going to be something. So the bottom line is, knowing there's always going to be something, don't get too scared. Don't be afraid. Make sure that you're doing your best and charging the right amounts for what you're worth. Just play it safe. Don't be that that starving artist taking on those little tiny jobs. I'm rambling on to a whole nother thing now. So anyway, that's it, guys. Have a happy new year. Thanks so much for watching this again. And I just want to say that in closing, I have officially filled at this point my January home mentorship program, and I'm taking applications again for the March 16th program, which just 5 students at a time out of my home studio, detached studio downstairs, where it's very intimate, very personal, a lot of one-on-one with you guys through that. Okay, so you can apply at silverdrawingacademy.com. Just go to the enroll section and character design. All right, thanks a lot, and I wish you guys the best. Just make your goals, set them, get them out there, write them down. I don't care how long that list is, make it happen. This is your year, 2016. Do it. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey. All right, so you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go back. Ha ha ha.